one of the X factors for Oklahoma in this game is their offensive line struggles. And I guess X factor for the game as a whole, not even just for Oklahoma, but it is for Oklahoma. The Sooners ranked 93rd nationally in sacks allowed per conference game. That was one that I was trying to mention earlier. Have it typed up properly here. 93rd nationally in sacks allowed per conference game. So they're allowing a lot of sacks in conference play right now. And that's something that this offensive line needs to cut back on. And some of it does fall on John Mateer. See the field better, feel the pocket better, move up into the pocket when it's necessary, and do something there. So it really could be disastrous against this Tennessee front, which has an aggressive pass rush. And I think that's one that Tennessee really wants to see, is getting that front four to push, getting really their front seven to have a good pass rush and to be able to get back there to Oklahoma's quarterback, being able to get sacks, being able to get tackles behind the line. That's something that Tennessee is really looking forward to. And I might have said Ole Miss here just a little bit ago, but jumping back and forth between the two teams, kind of confusing my brain just a little bit. But for Oklahoma, the offensive line struggles, definitely an X factor in this game. I think Tennessee is going to look for ways to exploit it. And so would any good team. They would look for ways to exploit this offensive line. Of course, Oklahoma hoping to improve enough to be able to not have that as a weakness. Going on for third down efficiency. This is one that, if we were to look back at Oklahoma's losses, third down efficiency was extremely crucial. Not being able to convert on third downs and fourth downs for that matter. And the defense not being able to get off the field on third down. So I think that's very, very much a key factor in this game. And it's a key factor in any major game, is how you perform on third down. Are you able to get off the field on defense and be able to sustain a drive on offense? So it might be just a simple one that we don't need to go over. But for Tennessee's third down efficiency specifically, I think this is an X factor for this Oklahoma for this Oklahoma offense, where the Vols rank 89th in late down defensive success. So third and fourth down really allows offenses to stay on the field, allows offenses to do something, to keep their drives going. And so that will be very interesting to see how they perform there, if they're able to get off the field on defense. But specifically this offense, are they able to exploit Tennessee's weakness in third down efficiency? I think that's one that I'm looking at here this weekend to see what Oklahoma does against that Tennessee defense, and how they find ways to keep the offense on the field, defense off the field. Because as we mentioned earlier on, that's just the key to keeping their offense off the field is a key to keeping them away from having any chance to score points. Keeping your offense on the field gives you higher percentage chance to score points. That's the obvious. There's football 101 there for you. Going on, the turnover margin. This is one that Oklahoma fans desperately want to see. Oklahoma fans are desperately begging to see, is getting some turnovers. Oklahoma sits there at a -6 turnover margin, 117th in the FBS right now, compared to Tennessee's +5, which is 22nd in the nation. Oklahoma can't afford to turn the ball over in this game. This is a game that will come down to every second. It will come down to every inch. It will come out down to every yard, every point, every field goal made, every field goal missed. And it will come down to every turnover that is given away. And Oklahoma cannot afford to give away any turnovers. The turnover margin will be crucial, but winning that turnover margin gives you such an increased opportunity to win in this game. And I think that's really where Oklahoma has to win this game. That's an X factor really for either team in this game, and an obvious one to point out, but nonetheless, one that Oklahoma has struggled tremendously. They've struggled very bad with a defense that was turning the ball over a lot last season, has not been able to turn the ball over much at all this season. So getting those turnovers, very crucial for Oklahoma. And they absolutely need to win that turnover margin. At the very least, not lose the turnover margin. If it's tied at 0-0, I think you still put yourself in a good spot to be able to do something in this game. But winning the turnover margin by getting yourself a turnover or two would be extremely helpful for this offense. Put them in better territory, put them in plus territory, be able to get them where they don't have to drive as far down the field and just score points a lot easier. obviously, and give them a little bit more confidence, a little bit of momentum over to your side, and stealing that momentum away from an electric Neyland Stadium at nighttime too. So just keep that in mind. Last X factor that we'll go through is the red zone battle. Oklahoma boasts the best, the first in FBS, the best red zone efficiency rate and scoring, red zone scoring rate. They have 100% every single time. I think it's 26 for 26. They've scored every single time that they're in the red zone, which is awesome. The problem last week is that they weren't able to get themselves into the red zone enough. And for Oklahoma, that will be very crucial. Get yourself into the red zone because that's where you're going to score. You've proven that already, 100%, and boasting to be the number one team in the nation in red zone scoring rate. While Tennessee, they've allowed opponents to score on 93.1% of their red zone trips. They're 125th in the nation on defense in allowing their opponents to score in the red zone. So getting down to the red zone is very crucial. And against this Tennessee defense where they crumble in the red zone and allow you to score. Now, a lot of that too, it bleeds into the field goals as well. So I will throw that out there. This stat is kind of inflated on both sides, inflated and deflated for offense and defense. But still, it is one that if you get into the red zone, you're just about at a sure point you're going to score because Oklahoma's just been smart and taking the points where they can get them. And so getting into the red zone, very crucial. And against this Tennessee defense, who has allowed most of their attempts, 93.1 to be exact, 93.1% of their attempts in the red zone have been allowing scores. So Oklahoma getting to the red zone, very crucial.